how to forage sea buckthorn and make infused gin and jam. Presented by All My Witchy Ways. Classed as one of the most nutritious and vitamin-rich foods in the world, sea buckthorn is an amazing superfood. One berry packs 12 times the amount of vitamin C an orange has, and with high amounts of protein, fibre, antioxidants, vitamins and minerals, at least 190 bioactive compounds to be exact, the sea buckthorn berry is a very powerful superfood indeed, offering benefits both internally and externally. So knowing this, I went to a favourite spot of mine where I know there is some sea buckthorn and I foraged it. Right, I went back to forage my sea buckthorn. So this is what we call in Germany Sanddorn. It's full of vitamin C, but as you can see, I took it off the leaf, not by berry, because as soon as you do this, they just, as you can see, they just squash. So it's a bit of a nightmare. And it tastes absolutely amazing. It's like a really sour orange, and they're full of vitamin C. So I found this tip, which was on YouTube, and you can see as well they have massive thorns. You've got to be very careful. And the tip was cut off the whole stems. Then now I have to cut off all the green little bits and bobs and then freeze them. And I'll show you what to do then. Now separated all the leaves and the stems from the Sanddorn, and I've also got some cuttings, so let's see if they're going to grow. And there we go, and then I take those little pieces and put them in freezer bags, and then they go into the freezer. And there we go. Now these have been frozen for a few days now, so I didn't have the time to get them out earlier, but you actually only need to freeze them for a few hours, so they're done. And then you can still see the thorns in there, and you don't want to touch them. So what you get is a lovely basher, or you can just get a spoon, and then what you do is just bash it, and this will loosen the berries, and the berries will come off. So lightly bashing, you see, look, they're all coming off. Let's just hope I'm not bashing this too hard, so maybe a spoon might be a better choice. Let's see. As you can see, I think the quicker option is with your meat basher, and they do come out. There you go. Nice and easy. And see, the thorns don't hurt the basher. Yeah, no problem. And you do that with all of them. So they all come off. Don't bash too hard because you don't want to mush them up either. Otherwise you've got any mash in there. Right, so I'll bash the rest and I'll show you what I do after. Thing seemed like a good idea at the time. Trouble was, my berries didn't swim at the top. They sank to the bottom. And then I had the trouble that my blocker came out. So I had to quickly stop the water and stop the berries from all going down the drain. And now I'm ended up with still these on the berries, which when they're frozen I could have picked them off easily, but now because I chucked them in the water, they're all squishy, and look what's happened when I pull them off. They squish. Oh, okay, maybe that wasn't the greatest idea, but I saw this on YouTube and thought I'd try. The pushing of the berries, when you freeze the berries, yeah, fantastic, that works. But I believe what I have to do now is when they're all pushed down, I've got to make sure they're all definitely down. So make sure you kind of push them all even lightly or not. And I think the best idea is if you then open it up and they are frozen, all your pushed up berries should be at the bottom. So you can see some are not pushed up, so keep working them. And then take the straws out, the big ones, and you see there's only a few left. And then what you do is just pick them off with your fingers, and when they're frozen, they don't pop, see? Don't pop, yay! But when they've gone into the water, they quickly defrost and then they all squash to pieces. So this is much better, so we'll do this now and I'll show you what to do after. Much easier. I just peeled off the last few berries from the stems and they were frozen. They were easy to come off and not squash on my fingers. And this is what I had bashed off. So I'll put this in there now. And there you go, less choose loss and less fishing time. And less thinking you're gonna create a total mess, and then the only thing you do is just pick up the last few bits out of here, and I will wash them later on again. So I'm picking them out, and then I do the same with all the other berries. Right, see now these ones I have in here, they're also squashy. See, if I try to pull them off, they squash instantly. And these ones I probably have to freeze again, just for the sake of getting the berries off. Little bit annoying, but that could happen to you. But maybe the other trick I saw on YouTube works for you, but it didn't work for me. So maybe that's down to the state of the berries being too juicy. And see the berries I had in the water, they're already squashy and juicy mush now, which is annoying. And the ones which were on top, they're still juicy and frozen, yeah, on proper berries in berry form. Right, I'll do the rest and then I'll be back. I don't want to spend too much time than necessary on this. My fingers feel now really frozen, to be honest. I decided I cut them off. So I'll get my big scissor. Now, of course, trying to do this with one hand and not holding the camera in a proper way is not very easy. So what I've done is basically you take the stem, trying to get it not with thorns into my fingers. Ow! You've probably done this before. Very thorny. So you take a big scissor and you just and you cut the parts off. They're all really squashy now. I know this would be a lot faster if I wouldn't have to try to hold my phone and the berries and the thorny stick and the scissor. But there you go. I didn't decide on bringing my tripod. Clever me. Right, so that's what I'm going to do, because I am not going to freeze this whole lot again and then pop it into there. Waste of time and waste of my fingers being poked. Ow! So not a good idea. Okay, what felt like a total eternity is finally over. I cut them all off. This is what's left over of my sticks, and these are my lovely berries. Now this is what's left over of my sink, so unfortunately a couple of berries got flushed down the drain, but I'm not the one who letting a lot of things go, especially if it's food or fruit. So this was a very sad moment. Look at it, so sad, very sad. But hey, never mind. I saved most of them. There's only a few on there which are squashed, and the rest is in here. Right, what to do now? I added some water and that makes all the rest of the nasty bits swim on the top. Well, some might say it doesn't really matter because you put it through a sieve. Well, I'm a little bit fussy and it does matter, and I do not want to put any thorns or maybe something I have left over in there be in my food. So sorry, I am fussy. Some of you might be too, but as you can see, those tiny winsy thorns I have bashed off by mistake, or because that will happen, unfortunately. That will then swim on the top. See, and still my berries are swimming at the bottom, and I'll fish this out. Yay! Right, and here we go. All done for me. That should be enough. I'm happy with that. And let's get it through a sieve and into a pot. I'll take this. You use a massive pot, and I take it now, and I've got a really fine sieve, as you can see, and let's put it all through. And I like to have a bit more juice in there. Put the rest in there. I'm getting tricky with one hand. Haha. I like to have it a bit more juicier. That's why I had a little bit of water on there to get all the stuff out. Now, what I like to do is use a spoon, a plastic spoon, and then you squash this all through the sieve. You can use other tools if you want to, but I'm trying to squash it through with this. If you fancy, you can use this, but as you can see, the berries always get clogged and you have to start again, so it's totally up to you. It is quite a good tool if you have a little mixer, what we call in Germany Quell, and that's probably the bestest tool, to be honest. So I will do this now, squash it through until I've got a lovely juice left at the bottom. Okay, see me in a minute. Now this is now all squashed through, and this is what's left over. And if you like me, I like to keep seeds and try to grow them for next year. So I'm going to pick out some of those little seeds here, and I'm going to keep them aside and let them dry. I'll pick only a few out. I'm going to see if it's working. And all of this, I'm actually not going to waste it. I'm going to put that in a bottle. I'll put some vodka over it, or gin. Let's see what I've got in the house. And I make a little gin infusion. So with all the rest of the berries here, I still probably get a nice orange colour gin out. Yeah, and the rest what's left is this under here. Lovely, lovely juice. And I'm probably going to make some jam with it. Let's see. Okay, so let's make some gin infusion. There we go. Now I'm going to put some alcohol on top of this. I'm using gin. This is really sour. In goes 2 spoons of sugar. There we go, stir it around. And just leave this to stand. With a lid on, of course. And I'm going to leave this to stand for at least 2 weeks. And now let's make some jam. Right, I'm making sea buckthorn jam, so today I'm just going to boil my juice. So you have to measure how much juice you got. So I've got 1 kilo, so per kilo juice you need 1.5 kilo of sugar. do, get your glasses and make sure you wash them out with boiling water, put them on a tray and then get them into the oven at 120 degrees for about 20 minutes. Now I add my sugar and it seems quite a lot, but you need that, and remember the juice is very sour, so you need this. It's full of vitamin C. Now mix it all up and then bring it to the boil. Now I let this boil until on my thermometer, which I hung in there, it reached 220 degrees Fahrenheit or 105 Celsius, and then it's at setting point. Now there we go, it has finally reached setting point. So now I'm just gonna switch off the heat and then start filling up my glasses. Yay! See that foam that builds up at the top? Just make sure you kind of like lift that off. You don't really want that in your glasses. It creates bubbles. So there we go, it's all done, it's all ready. Happy days. Be careful when you fill that into your glasses, because this is lethally hot. So also make sure if you have children nearby, they go somewhere else. So here we go, I'm going to fill them up now. I'm going to be very careful, and when they're filled up, I'll show you what to do after. Here we go, it's all filled in. Near enough got the right amount of glasses. So the one on the right I'm going to eat first. And then you just have to find your right size of lids and screw them on. Now remember, still really hot, so make sure you screw it on tightly, and then you get your glove and screw it on tighter. I'm just hoping I use the right lids. Yep. And there we go, right, and that it's done. And now you just have to wait until it's all cooled down, and then you can store it away. Done and dusted. Right, I screwed the lids on really tight, and when it's all cooled down, then I will label it so I exactly know what's in the inside and when I've made it, and then I store it away. And of course, enjoy it. That's what it's there for. Enjoy.
As always, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye for now.